Discord staff made a silly little Easter egg, and this will be a link in the description, but if you copy it and you send it into Discord, it turns into this totally real new dark mode, and if you click on apply, oh my god, this is terrible. You have to use your mouse as a flashlight to navigate Discord. Now, you might have seen something like this before with something called Annie Dark Mode, which when you enabled it, it would make your Discord look like this. You got this nice, beautiful theme on Discord without having to install client mods. Now, this isn't actually considered an Easter egg. It's called a build override. And what is a build override? Well, clicking on this little information button, you get this Discord blog post that says, shh, remember, let's keep this on the down low, okay? But this dark mode thing is a build override, and build overrides are used by Discord's developers for testing new versions of code. And most of these build overrides, there are actually a lot of them, they're mostly nerdy stuff that are meant for actual development. Overrides like feature, double tap swipe reply. That sounds riveting and super cool. But there's also overrides that enable Discord experiments, but you could do that yourself. But these build overrides are meant to be a way where you could share your version of Discord. So if you're a Discord developer, you could send it to another developer, or you could send this build override to a whole bunch of testers. And I'll show you how it actually looks to make a build override later, but in some rare cases, Discord's developers will just have a little bit of fun. Maybe they're on their lunch break and they'll make something cool, like this Annie dark mode or this super dark mode or actually dark mode. And there was actually one that replaced the normal Discord emojis with Microsoft's Fluent emojis. Now, if I go back to Discord, I can't use Discord like this. I could barely read my monitor, and this makes things even worse. So how do I get rid of it? Well, we can go back to this build override link and click on clear. But if your friend's a little bit of a devious devil and they delete it, you're screwed. Just kidding. Go to the bottom left, right click on this icon. You might need to scroll down, and then you will see clear build override. When you click on that button, guess what? You're going back to normie Discord, or usable Discord in this case. This question is probably a given at this point, but can this build override feature be used to scam people? Well, let me give it a shot, because I can actually make one of these build overrides. If I go to my user settings, and let's ignore I have a client mod installed, if I turn on experiments, I have this developer options tab. And in this developer options tab, if I scroll all the way down, I have build overrides. And I'm going to add a build override, and I could add it for iOS, Android, marketing, or web. I'm just going to click on web, branch name, steal your Discord, and if I click on generate public link, this is how it looks when someone makes one of these build overrides. I can set an expiration date, which is really important for later on, between an hour to a month. I can pick a release channel, so Canary, PTB, stable, all that nerdy stuff. I can limit it to certain user IDs, and then we have our client experiment override. Now, all I would need to do to steal your Discord account is put in a little bit of code here. In fact, someone sent me a message saying that I just need to create a build override with code like this. All right, it's time for me to cause havoc on Discord. I paste in this special little code and it doesn't work. Okay, the code doesn't work. You know what? Let's just move past that. Can I even make a build override myself? Well, let me scroll down, click on generate link, and maybe scroll down a little bit more. Error making API request 403. You want to know why I'm getting an error? Well, it's because I can't make build overrides, and neither can you. In fact, none of you can. It's only something that Discord staff can do. So unless one of those staff members becomes corrupt and tries to steal a bunch of people's Discord accounts, you won't get scammed from these. Just make sure it's actually a build override and not someone sending you an image pretending to be a build override. Now, there's something super important about these build overrides that you need to know. Eventually, they will stop working. For example, the Annie dark mode, if I click on apply, my Discord will restart and nothing will actually happen. As you can tell, I go back, there's no build override thing here, it just didn't work. And in a couple of weeks, this actually dark mode thing won't even work either. If I copy the link to the actually dark mode build override and I go to a website called CyberChef, I can paste in the input, so the link to the override, and I need to add a couple things, so URL decode and from base64, I get a whole bunch of garbage, but then you can actually see some code here. And the main thing I want to point out is that expires at Friday, the 25th of August 2023. So that means on August 25th, this build override will not work anymore. But what about this Annie build override? Let me copy the link, let me paste it in our input here, and you can see that it expires on Sunday, January 28th, 2024. Wait a second, this didn't expire, which means that the Annie build override should work, but it doesn't. And the reason why it doesn't work is because it got super popular. If I'm on the r/Discord app subreddit, there was a post where they talked about this build override. They had the link here, everyone could copy it and turn their Discord into this dark mode. This was technically not supposed to be public, but it got leaked. Now, how do these build overrides get leaked? Well, sometimes the developers will share it in a Discord testing server, like Discord testers, to get feedback from a bunch of people. Now, if you're a Discord tester and you get something super nerdy, most people won't really care and they're not going to have the temptation to share this with their friends. But with the more fun and goofy stuff, like actually dark mode and anti-dark mode, people want to show their friends. Their friends will show their other friends, and kaboom, it's now out in the public. And this could be stopped by having the developers limit the user ID to every single possible person they would want to send this to, but it's not a big deal, it's just a client theme at the end of the day. However, when these do leak, Discord actually does get pretty annoyed. For example, the anti-dark mode, they actually patched it a year ago. This is almost its anniversary. Oh my goodness. I don't work at Discord, but I think this fun little stuff like the dark mode and actually dark mode thing is not actually bad. These are just fun little Easter eggs that people get to use for a limited time. At least, that's what I thought until I looked through the comments of this post and I found Ner Marvin, who is someone that has a lot of knowledge on this stuff. There were tons of people on the build override, but that's not something good, because build overrides in most cases are rarely updated to be in sync with Discord's other changes. So if you're on a build override and Discord releases a new feature, you won't be able to find it until the build override is updated. And of course, if a build override is leaked, it's usually leaked to people that aren't super technical with Discord. They won't understand that the build override prevents them from getting updates, and they will create support tickets, and it'll just be a complete pain in the rear end. So these build overrides are really fun, and I hope to see some more, but I can understand if Discord gets upset and keeps removing these and hiding them from the public. Good night, I love you. Mwah!